On another note, and then there is the problems in the America, problems in the United States of America. Now, Black Lives Matter, the movement is there. The marchers, I don't know whether they're still marching or they're still protesting, but the protest should go on. But despite all that, there is a major, there's an even more bigger problem right now that United States of America is facing, and the president is not really addressing that much. And the problem is regarding the people who, I think the general public in the United States of America are completely ignorant. I mean, I feel that they're really, really ignorant. They don't understand exactly what is COVID-19. They really think that it's some sort of major hoax. They think that this is some sort of global conspiracy theory. They don't want to believe that this COVID-19 is a real threat, that is a real problem. Well, eye-opener. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who has already died in the whole world. This is not an American issue. This is not anything to do with a Chinese issue. It could be, but I'm not sure. We wouldn't know, but this much is true. Every single person out there on planet Earth is in the same boat as of now. There are thousands of people dying across the whole world. Every single country in the world is affected by COVID-19. Every single person out there has to wear a mask, not only to protect themselves, but to protect the person on your left and on your right, protect your own people, protect your neighbors, your friends, your families. But most of the people in the United States of America, most of them are refusing to wear the mask because they believe that this is an impediment of their speech, or they believe that their rights is being trampled upon. They believe that their freedom of speech, they think that it's like a communist rule. If you wear a mask, it's like trying to force. They feel that the government is trying to force them to do something which is not going through their freedom of choice. In one way, you may think that this is going against your freedom of right, but take it this way. If you don't wear a mask and you get infected, you won't know whether you are infected or not. There is no way for a person who's infected to know whether the person is infected or not. And that's the most dangerous thing about COVID-19. So this person, God knows how many other person is he going and making contact with. And this person is not even wearing a mask. And it's not just about wearing the mask or not wearing the mask. You see, this person who's infected, he's going to open doorknobs. He's going to touch the railings on a bus, on a car. He can be anywhere. Even if he walked into a shop, he's opening the door. He's touching on the window, or he's touching on certain products. Just looking at the price or so, that's already enough. That virus is going to be stuck onto the doorknob, onto all these different places, these different surfaces. And a person who's wearing a mask can still get infected because of touch. And this is how dangerous it is. This is why it is dangerous for a person who does not wear a mask. It's extremely dangerous. All it takes is just a cough to the person right on your left or on your right, and this person would be able to infect others. So the number from one person, you can quadruple the amount of person who's getting infected. So when the government is trying to tell, or maybe every other person is trying to tell you to please wear a mask, and now they're already beginning to enforce wearing masks on different shops. It is not to create a draconian rule. It's not to create like a communism. Let me tell you something. Not the whole world is under communism. Take example, Malaysia, the country that I come from. We are not a communist country. We are a democratic country. We have power to vote, and we do have a monarchy as well. All right, so it's not you may say it's a dictatorship, but it's not really a totally dictatorship. You see, the king, there is a king, but there is also different parties, and we select a prime minister. So we're following quite a tweaked, different kind of concept. That's what's happening in the UK. The UK is being ruled by a queen, and then they have a prime minister. But here we have a king, and each different states will have a sultan. So we are following a free, democratic rule country. We're not following any communism whatsoever. We have the freedom to believe in any religion we want to. We have the freedom to be whichever race or religion you want to follow. But it is because of, even though we have the freedom and we're not following a communist kind of thinking, but our government told us to wear the mask and stay at home initially, and we did. I would say about 80%, 80 to 90% of every single Malaysian out there really did follow the government. Even though, I'm telling you the truth, the government is not a government we chose. We went through a heavy, crazy upheaval. All right, in such a short time period. We actually voted last year. We had our elections last year, and we voted a new prime minister, and the prime minister suddenly quit. The moment he quit, then there was a lot of confusion, until suddenly there was just this one small group of people that just made up their own cabinets and make up their own government and started to rule. They appointed a new prime minister, which was endorsed by the king. So we were like in a state of confusion as to how in the world suddenly out of the blue moon, out of nowhere, we just had a new prime minister, but we voted for someone else before. So it felt like we were the how to say, there was a huge amount of animosity. But however, even though this new prime minister came into power, he came into power during a time where COVID-19 was really, really tough on us, and he had no choice but to issue the lockdown, which is the MCO, and he told us to wear the mask, and we stayed 80%, 90%, even though we didn't like what the hell was this new government is all about, but we did follow what the government was trying to tell us, not because we are afraid of them, or not because we believe in communist or draconian state. That's not what we believe in, but we followed it because we believe that it is the right thing to do to kind of like help stop this COVID-19 from spreading, and we did, and the numbers went down. So there's a proven methodology of you to use the mask. But a lot of Americans out there are refusing to wear the mask because they think it's just like it's a notion that we are trying to force into you, and then it is your choice whether you want to follow it or do not want to follow it. The thing is, if it's just personal about you, there's no problem. The problem here is that if you don't wear a mask, there is a high chance that you're going to infect the person left to right, whether you like it or not. And that's the problem. Do you understand that? That is the big problem. You won't know whether you are infected or not, and you are suddenly forcing to infect others because of your selfish thinking. You only think about yourself. You only think about your own freedom of speech. You see where it goes? That is very selfish. You're thinking only about yourself. You have to think about your family, about your friends, about your people. If you keep on not wearing a mask, chances are the person on your left and right will be infected, and that person is going to infect the others, and so on and so forth. The number of those who are getting infected in America today is really, really high. It's going to the tens and thousands. That is extremely. If that number was having in our country, Malaysia, yes, we are maybe a small country, but if when we hit the 100 mark, we knew we had to take drastic action. And that is just when we hit our first 100. That was an eye-opener, and said, oh my God, 100 people is dead because of this. This is real. This is real. People have died. I wish it wasn't true, but it is true. This is not some hoax. This is not some freaking conspiracy theory. This is real. If you really want to know the real actual number, please, by all means, pick up the phone and call your nearest hospital and ask them exactly how many people has been coming into the hospital with COVID-19 infections. Get the number straight. They're not going to lie. Why would they want to lie? They have no time to lie. So please do not be very, very selfish and think that this is just about yourselves. Wear the mask, not for yourselves, but for your entire people. So I hope the Americans start to change a little bit of their thinking. Nobody's robbing your freedom. You still have your freedom. Wearing a mask doesn't mean that you're unable to speak. You can speak even with the mask on. And nobody's asking you to wear the mask 24/7. If you're indoors, fucking take out the mask. You only wear the mask when you're outside because that's where it's dangerous. So if you're indoors, you don't need to wear a mask, especially if you're in a home with your own family. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands, bathe as regularly as you can, keep yourself clean. I mean, that's practically normal. We are living in unusual times. You have to expect that. You have to understand that we are living in unusual times. We are really living in a new normal age. It is new. It's not easy for you to actually accept it, but you gotta learn that this is happening and you just gotta brave through the storm. Fighting over it, whining and complaining over it isn't going to make any difference. The difference here is keeping yourself protected and protecting the ones you love.